Hey everyone, it's Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be doing my May TBR. So as per usual, I have my TBR jar and I'm going to be picking prompts from my TBR jar to figure out what books I'm going to be reading in the month of May. So I'm sitting in front of my new shelf that I have recently gotten, and I have taken pretty much all of the books from my other shelves that I have not read and put them on this shelf. Not every book was able to fit on this shelf because it is only like a 3 shelf so not all of the books that I haven't read and own were able to fit on this, but I do also have my TBR cart sitting behind the camera that has books that I have not read on it as well. And so I'm going to be picking my books for my TBR based off of what's on my TBR cart and what's on this shelf behind me. So I wanted to go over the prompts from last month and what I did and did not complete. There were a total of 11 prompts for the month of April, and so I was able to read all of the prompts except for 2. Well, I guess technically 3 because one of them I am still in the middle of, but I do see myself finishing it before the end of the month, so I'm just going to go ahead and count that one as a read. Per the rules, the 2 prompts that I did not read are going to be going back in the jar for a second chance this next month. So the prompts that will be going back in the jar are Instagram pics and LGBTQIA plus main character. The rest of the prompts for the month of April I did read, so if you want to know more about those prompts, I will have my April TBR in the iCard. So this one was the LGBTQIA one and this one was the Instagram pics one. So these 2 will be going back in the jar for another chance in this next month. All right, so now as per usual, I'm going to throw up my dice roller and we are going to be seeing how many books I am going to attempt to read in the month of May. All right, so for the month of May, I'm going to be rolling the 20-sided die and seeing what number of books I'm going to be reading in May. Okay, so I got 10, so I will be picking 10 prompts out of my TBR jar. So let's start with prompt number 1. So for prompt number 1, I got a book with pink on the cover. So for a book with pink on the cover, I'm going to be reading The Black Flamingo by Dean Ottat. So this is a book about a mixed race gay teen growing up in London who discovers drag, and I guess just his story. I've heard this is a very good book, so I'm super excited to read this one and hopefully get to it in May. So for pick number 2, I have a 5-star prediction, and so for a 5-star prediction, I'm going with The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And I've been hearing a lot about this book. I've been hearing that it gives the same vibes of A Quarter of Thorns and Roses and like the feeling that you get when you read that for the first time like you get with this. So I've been super excited to pick this up, so hopefully I enjoy it. I know the second one just came out not too long ago, so if I love it, then I know that I have the next book and I don't have to wait for it. On to pick number 3. So for pick number 3, I got a small town romance, and I'm going to have to look for one, so give me just a second. Okay, so for small town romance, I'm going to be reading Call Me Crazy by Melanie Harlow. This is the 3rd book in the Bellamy Creek series, and I'm excited to get to this one. I have been slowly making my way through this series, and so I'm excited to read this 3rd one. So pick number 4. This is a new to you series. So for a new to you series, I'm going to be going with Mile High by Liz Tom Ford, and this is the 1st book in a sports romance companion series. I'm super excited to read this one. I've heard nothing but great things about this one and the 2nd book. All right, so pick number 5. We are halfway there. Am I out of storage on the SIM card? Apparently. Okay, so we're back after my SIM card ran out of footage for a second there. So we were on pick number 5, and this one is card. Okay, so this one says, read a thriller or mystery where the main character is a detective or private investigator. Okay, so for this prompt, I'm going to be reading The Force by Dawn Winslow. And if I'm being completely and totally honest, I have no idea what this is about. I did read the first sentence and it does say that all Denny Malone wants is to be a good cop, but he's dirty, apparently. So I'm not sure what this falls under. I'm gonna look it up to make sure that falls under like mystery or thriller. I feel like it would probably be closer to like a thriller, maybe. Let me look it up. Okay, yeah, it does fall under the thriller and the mystery genre, so I will be reading this one for this prompt. So on to pick number 6. All right, so for pick number 6, we got a mystery thriller. For mystery thriller, we have The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda, and this is a like final person type thriller, I believe. It says 7 hours in the past, 7 days in the present, 7 survivors remaining. Who would you save? So I think this is following a high school crash, a high school van crash, and most of the students died except for a few. And every year the survivors meet up, and until one year somebody ends up dying, I think. And so they're trying to figure out, I guess, who did it, maybe, I don't know. But this was my most recent book of the month pick and it sounded good when I picked it, so I'm hoping that I'm going to like it. So now on to pick number 7. So a popular booktube book. For this one, I'm going with the one and only Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I have been wanting to do a reread of this series, so I'm hoping that this will be the perfect month to start my reread, and hopefully I will be able to reread everything in time for Crescent City 3 when it comes out in February, which, I mean, obviously that's still a little bit away, but it hopefully gives me enough time to reread all of Throne of Glass and probably A Court of Thorns and Roses again, and maybe even the first 2 Crescent City books again, but we'll see. That's a little bit ambitious, but we're gonna take it one book at a time for now, so this will fulfill that prompt. So now for prompt number 8. Okay, so I've been waiting to get this prompt. So this is buy yourself a book from your wish list and read it this month. Let's see what is on my Amazon wish list. Okay, so I've popped my Amazon wish list up on the screen, so we're just gonna kind of go through and see if there's something that I think that I want to possibly read this month. So I feel like I have a lot of stuff on here and I have no idea what I want to pick, but I think right now I might be leaning towards Coach by Daphne Perry. That was towards the top of my list, so I think I'm gonna go back up to the top, and so I think I'm going to do Coach by Daphne Perry. I guess this will be the book that I have bought from my wish list and will be reading this month. I just placed the order and it says that it should be here on Tuesday, so super excited for that. Can't wait to read this. For pick number 9, we have a book with orange on the cover. For this prompt, I'm going with Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, and you can see it. There is a tiny bit of orange on the cover down here at the bottom. There's also these little oranges as well, and the lights. So this is going to be the book that I picked for this. I've heard very mixed things about this. I heard you either love it or hate it, so I'm excited to see what my thoughts are on this book. And now for my 10th and final prompt. Okay, so this is a book with a cartoon cover. Okay, so for a book with a cartoon cover, I'm going with Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hilderbrand, and I actually have the whole series, but I have not read them yet, and I've heard that Ellen Hilderbrand has great summery reads, and since it is getting ready to get hot, I figured this would be perfect to read for the month of May. So this is my book stack. Hopefully I can pick it up. So this is my book stack for the month of of May. We'll pause for a thumbnail. And so yeah, I'm excited to get to all of these books hopefully in the month of May. There are a few that I'm really excited about, so I cannot wait to read them. But just to go over them one more time, we have cartoon cover, which is Winter in Paradise. We have a book with orange on the cover, which is Magnolia Parks. We have Buy a Book from Your Wish List and Read It This Month, which is Coach by Devney Perry. We then have a popular booktube book, which was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. We then have a mystery thriller, which is The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. We then have a thriller or mystery where the main character is an investigator or a detective, and so we have The Force. Next we have new to you series, so Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. We then have Small Town Romance, which is Call Me Crazy by Melanie Harlow. We then have a 5-star prediction, which is The Serpent and Wings of the Night. And finally we have a book with pink on the cover, and that is The Black Flamingo. So already I feel like we're off to a pretty good start. Hearing this shelf of books that I have not read yet, so once I read a book off the shelf, I will be putting it back onto my other shelves that are out in the main living area. And so yeah, all right, so that is going to be it for today's TBR video. If you guys liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. Leave a comment down below if you have read any of these books or planning on reading any of these books. Let me know all of your thoughts and feels on them. I will have all of my social medias linked down in the description. So with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.